Welcome to the High Tech Freedom Podcast. This is a podcast where we bring successful tech sales professionals, thought leaders, and entrepreneurs to share best practices, insights, and lessons learned with other tech sales professionals. As a sales professional, the more we learn, the more we earn. Once we earn it, how can we put those hard-earned commission dollars back to work to build additional income streams that will create the freedom we are all working to achieve? I'm your host, Chris Freeman. I'm a high-tech sales leader, real estate investor, and lifetime learner. Welcome back to the High Tech Freedom Podcast. So today I want to talk about a personal development plan. Question for you, with roughly 11 months to go for the year, are you still on track with your personal development plan? Do you even have a personal development plan? I think a good question to ask is, why does this matter if you are a sales professional, whether you're in the high-tech industry or any other industry? This is one of those areas where if you don't take ownership of your personal development plan, no one else will. Gone are those days when you work for a big company, I don't know, say like IBM, some car company, where you work there for a lifetime, and working there may have included a way to manage your overall career progression, your personal development, your training. Well, that is not the world that we live in today. And as a high-tech sales professional, you definitely don't live in that world. You will get plenty of training. You'll get training on product and training on the product messaging. And be thankful if you get any sales or personal development training while working for that company. So why not go create your own personal development plan and own it? And if you go back to one of my earlier episodes, it's sort of the same concept where I talk about owning your own CRM. If you're not going to be at a company forever, don't just rely on all of your contacts in LinkedIn or on your phone or in somebody else's Salesforce system. Why not have your own CRM and manage that regardless of where you go? So where do you start if you want to build your own personal development plan? Well, I'm always focused on revenue. So I would recommend starting with the basics and the basics that will generate income for you. And I think that one main area is your personal sales process. What is your personal sales process, which is at the heart and core of the profession and how you make money? So it's really important that I'm sure if you're doing any type of sales, each of you has your own selling style, and your own unique selling style should translate into your own sales process. Some of you may feel like you have a process already because you've been doing it for a while, and you probably do, right? You probably have a loose process that's just been built over time from the habits of doing it, and that's great. But I recommend taking some time to document what the best process looks like. And that doesn't mean that you're going to always align to that best process, but that's a really important step to creating a baseline. And just kind of think about your whole, regardless of what company you're at, just kind of think about the whole sales cycle, everything from prospecting to meeting prep, meeting execution, follow-up, managing a deal over time. Even managing problems within deals or problems within accounts, right? There's definitely some tactics and some templates and some things you can use to kind of get organized when stuff isn't working out. I want to break in with this quick commercial from me. I am very excited to announce that we have our first multifamily real estate deal for the year. This is a really nice boutique 88-unit complex in Tempe, Arizona, which is an incredibly strong submarket of the Phoenix area. And we are partnered with my friend Reed and his company at the RSN Group. They're the ones that found the deal, and they also have another asset very close by this particular property. Investment spots on this one, they're going to fill up quickly because it is also structured to accept 1031 exchanges. And there's a number of exchanges out there right now looking for a home. So if you're interested, just contact us through hightechfreedom.com, or you could book a call using the link in the show notes. And even if you just want to learn a little bit more about the investing process, let's chat. I'm happy to share and follow up with some educational resources. Now back to the show. All right, so where do you start? And specifically, where do you start if you want to go build your own sales process? So there's so many books and there's so many sales methodologies in the marketplace. There's the Challenger sale, Sandler sale, spin selling, Medic, just as a few examples. Well, what I would recommend for you is do your homework, dig into all of that content, but don't go blindly with just one model. Take pieces you personally like from each one and build your own process, build your own sales process plan, and continue to refine it. Now, building your process, that can feel like an enormous task because it is, right? It's the whole process of what you do when you're out there selling. But think about it as a journey to ultimately building your playbook, right? This is a playbook that you own, you have, it's not tied to any company. And then start with just one component and then just work on that one component. Get hyper-focused in that one area, define it, document it, obviously execute it, do it, and then move on to the next component. And before you know it, I mean, shoot, maybe do this over a year, but before you know it, you exit the year with like your sales process Bible, your playbook that you can, if you're ever stuck, if you're ever down on yourself, you're not quite sure where to go, what to do, go back to your playbook. And sometimes you know what to do. You just need a reminder. I'll give you an example. I recently had a conversation with a sales trainer that I really like. He's a podcast host as well, Brian Burns. In fact, I was on his podcast and we were having a great conversation about top performers, what sets people apart, something I talk about often during my guest podcast. And I was sharing a story of my own pre-call planning and post-call follow-up process that I do. And early on, it was sort of forced on me, but I ended up building a defined process that I still use today. I had a manager in my very first field job where he was having me every single week create a pre-call plan for every meeting that I had. And he had a format that he wanted me to follow. And then after the meeting, I had to follow up with the outcome and summarize that to him each week. Well, that process became a habit, and I still use that same pre-call process today. It's part of my overall sales process playbook. And the great thing now about having that process and having that somewhat defined is I don't have to think about it. I just do it. I can go faster. I can go more efficiently, more consistently, and everything just sort of comes together when you have that process that works for you. Now, I started off talking about your development plan. So this building your own sales process is just one part of building your development plan, but I like it because it's revenue and income impacting. Now, in terms of building your own development plan, you could also spend some time thinking about your skills, right? What do you want to get better at over your career? Not just this year, but what do you want to get better at? And what do you define as great in what you want to do or what you want to be? Put that in your development plan, and then let's start figuring out some of those steps to get there. What do you want to start doing maybe that you're not doing today? What do you want to stop doing that you're doing, but it's not terribly productive towards your success? Yeah, think about it as you are your HR manager responsible for your own development plan. So once you have this, you can take your development plan, you can take your sales process with you wherever you go. You'll find that if you end up having to leave a job for whatever reason, you'll find that your ramp up in the new job is faster and you're going to hit quota quicker. So that's it for today. Hope you're enjoying the High Tech Freedom podcast. Thanks for all the great feedback. If you want to connect with me, definitely go to hightechfreedom.com. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can just contact me there and book a call, however you want to engage. Until next week, make this your best week ever.
Thanks again for joining us today. To get more sales and real estate tips, you can subscribe to our newsletter at hightechfreedom.com. You can also join our private Facebook and LinkedIn group that is exclusively for sales professionals. If you found a nugget of good information in the podcast, please subscribe, give us a positive rating, and write a review. If there is a topic that you would like us to cover in the future, please send us a note through our website at hightechfreedom.com. Until next week, make this your best week ever.